Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Barira's Faith Journal. Today we are going to talk about something most of us have either been too afraid to ask about or have been told is not real. And I want us to sit with it together, calmly, clearly, with everything Islam actually tells us. Possession, Jinn, possession. The idea that a body, a human body, can be entered and inhabited by something that is not human. I know the word makes some of us uncomfortable. It sounds like something from a horror film. But this is not a horror story. This is something the scholars of Islam documented carefully from incidents they witnessed personally. And I think we deserve to understand it. The scholars define possession as a jinn entering the body of a human being. It can happen for different reasons. Sometimes it is due to magic, sometimes it is because of a moment of negligence, a daily habit we never thought twice about. And sometimes, as we will hear today, it happens for reasons that are stranger still. I want to mention something that I read about the entry points, the moments where possession most commonly begins. Moments without Bismillah, anger that is left unchecked, a weak or broken connection to Allah, small habits of negligence that accumulate over time. None of these are dramatic, none of them feel significant in the moment, but the scholars are clear that these are the gaps. And there is something one of the jinn actually said during a session of recitation when a scholar asked, "Why do so many jinn harm people?" The jinn replied, "Due to their distancing themselves from their religion." That answer stayed with me. Not a complicated reason, not a mysterious one, simply distance from Allah. What I find important in this is possession is not something that happens randomly to anyone at any time. The scholars are clear that a strong connection to Allah through prayer, through dua, through seeking refuge in Him is the most powerful shield we have. And what I find even more important is every single possession incident I read, every single one ended with the jinn leaving, with the person recovering with Allah's permission, removing what Allah's permission had allowed. I want to share something I read from the Book of True Incident compiled by scholars, things they witnessed themselves. The first story stayed with me for a long time after I read it. In the month of Dhul Hijjah, in the year 1411 of the Hijrah, one of the scholars recited upon an old woman. After a short while, something spoke through her. At first, it muttered in an unintelligible way. Then it began to make sense. The reciter asked, "Why have you entered into this woman?" The jinn replied, "O Sheikh, may Allah reward you with good." It knew him. It had been there before. The reciter asked how it entered, and the jinn explained, 6 years ago, this woman went with a group to perform Hajj. On the way back, she stopped near Riyadh. She got off the bus to pray Fajr. While she was walking, she tripped and fell on me, hurting me. So I entered her. And since then, I have harmed her. 6 years, a woman who went to perform one of the greatest acts of worship in Islam, who tripped on the way back and who suffered for 6 years because of it. Her sons would take her to hospital. The doctors would find nothing. They would take her home, and the moment she left the hospital door, it would return. The reciter asked, "Do you gain any benefit in harming her?" The jinn said, "No." "Did she intentionally fall on you?" "No." "And yet it had stayed for 6 years." The reciter commanded it to leave out of obedience to Allah. It left. The woman recovered. But after a few months it returned. And this time the son of the first jinn, who said he had also been hurt in that same fall. The reciter spoke to it, reminded it of the fear of Allah, and it left. By the grace and blessings of Allah, the woman became well. I want to pause here because this incident tells us something important. This woman who was not sinful, she was not negligent, she was returning from Hajj, and something still entered her. This is why Islam does not treat possession as a punishment or a sign of weakness in faith. It is something that can reach anyone. What matters is how we respond. What matters is what we turn to. The second incident I want to mention is a shorter, but the lesson in it is one I think many of us need to hear. A scholar recited upon a young man who had been possessed. The jinn spoke. It said, I am Sheikh Faraj, the leader of a tribe. I am 360 years old. Most of my friends have died. The scholar asked, why have you possessed this man? The jinn said, I entered him because he gets angry. I wanted to make him angrier. I wanted to harm those who make him angry. Anger, not magic, not negligence, anger. And the scholar reminded it that happiness, sadness, and anger are all temporary states. They come upon humans and jinn alike. And he commanded it to leave. And it left without even needing more recitation. It simply flew away. This detail stopped me because we talk about anger in Islam all the time. We know Rasulullah told us not to get angry time and again. And here is one of the reasons. An unchecked emotional state is a door. And what enters through that door is not always visible. The third incident is the one that stopped me the most completely. A scholar recited upon a woman. The jinn spoke. Its name was Muqlid. The scholar asked, how many years have you possessed this woman? Muqlid said, 20 years. 20 years. The scholar asked why. And the Muqlid said, while she was young, she used to urinate in the open. And she never used to seek refuge in Allah, so I possessed her. A small daily habit, something she never thought about, something none of us would think twice about. And for 20 years, her body was not entirely her own. But then something extraordinary happened. During that session of recitation, Muqlid said, I wish to accept Islam. And he recited the Shahada. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. A jinn inside a woman taking Shahada, and he promised to leave. He left, but after 2 hours later he returned asking for the scholar. The scholar asked, why have you returned when you promised not to? The jinn said, I have accepted Islam, but no one has taught me how to make wudu and how to pray. He was a new Muslim who did not know how to worship. They taught him. He left, and the woman recovered. There is one more incident I want to mention briefly, because it shows us that possession does not always come from harm or magic or negligence. During the first Gulf War, a jinn possessed a married woman. When the scholar recited upon her, the jinn spoke. It said, I love her, and I wanted her to leave this area, because I believed it would be demolished. It was a disbeliever. But when the reciter recited Surah Al-Safat, the verse that says the jinn cannot listen to the higher groups of angels, for they are pelted from every side, the jinn said, I testify that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. It took Shahada. It changed its name to Abdur Rahman, and it left. 4 incidents, 4 different reasons multiple types of jinn. And in every single case, the Quran was the cure. Allah's words were what removed it. So what do we do with all of this? The scholars are clear. The protection against possession is the same protection against every unseen harm. Ayatul Kursi every morning and evening and before sleep. Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas after every prayer. Reciting dua before entering the bathroom. Reciting the dua before leaving the house. Seeking refuge in Allah in moments of fear or anger. These are not rituals we perform out of superstitions. They are a conversation with Allah. They are us saying, I know I cannot protect myself. You are the only one who can. And that acknowledgement, that daily consistent acknowledgement is the strongest shield there is. The incident of a woman possessed for 20 years began with a small habit she had forgotten. The incident of an angry young man begins with an emotion he did not manage. The protection begins with the small habits we choose to remember every single day. I want to close today with a story. Not about possession, but about what happens when someone uses their body in exactly the opposite way. A father came to an imam, worried about his son. The boy had been talking gibberish in a frenzied state. The father thought perhaps his son was under a spell or possessed by a jinn. He sent the boy to the imam. When the boy arrived, the imam spoke to him kindly, and the boy burst into tears. He said, I was born and have grown up in a household where no one is concerned with religion or faith. My father had never prayed. We recklessly indulge in sins. I don't know what is happening to me. The imam gave him one instruction. Go home every night while your family sleeps. Rise and make wudu. Offer tahajjud prayer. Prostrate before Allah and pray for your father's guidance. The boy did this night after night. While his family slept, he would arise in the dark, make wudu and prostrate, mourning and sobbing before Allah, saying, O my Lord, guide my father. O my Lord, open his heart to faith. Do not let him fall into the category of people doomed to hell. One night the father returned late from a journey. He came home and found his son alone in a dark room, prostrating and weeping. He stopped at the door and listened, and he heard those words. He stood there dazed, and he took a bath and he prayed behind his son, and he wept, and he vowed to change. This boy who was thought to be possessed, became the guide for his entire family. I think about this story in the context of everything we have shared today. The body that is not your own, and the boy who gave every part of his body to Allah. His sleep, his tears, his prostration, and changed the fate of his family with it. What is happening around us, whatever we cannot see or explain? The answer has always been the same. Turn to Allah. Stay close to Him. Not just in moments of crisis, but in the ordinary moments, the small habits, the daily choices. The unseen world is real. The jinn are real. But so is Allah's protection, and that protection is always, always greater. As we close today, let's make this dua together. O Allah, protect our bodies, our minds and our souls from every unseen harm. Protect us from what we know and what we do not know, and keep us so close to you that nothing can find a way in. Ameen Ya Rabbul Alameen. Follow for more forgotten Islamic stories. All informations are derived from Darussalam publication. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.